Underdog Daily, Badge Bros, John and Nez here. Very special Friday vibes edition here. We're going to cover both sports. We already had a daytime diamond. I saw Nez in the streets grinding that one out. I'm sure many of you were doing so as well. A lot of great slates today, a lot of prize money up for grabs across multiple sports. So a lot of fun. We're going to do our best here. We kind of got like a hard hour and a half here, and we're still going to try and go for it. We're going for it all. We're going to get 10 games of hoops talked about and 5 games of baseball. Famous last words, Nez.
Wow, I did not realize I was committing to 10 games of hoops as well. Forgot that I knew it was a deep slate. I just kind of forgot right before
it was 10.
We went on. But yeah, 10 games. But no, it's a fun slate for both sports here. And just got to work under these new constraints right now.
Man.
But
Dad life hitting different these days. Not as much time to draft, that sort of deal. But man, we got to get it done out here for the people. I think today is going to be a little more loosey goosey though than our usual like rigid read the injury report, go through every single team in every spot, because 10 games we can start sort of wave some spots and that sort of thing.
Yeah, thankfully silly season makes the life a little easier.
Yeah. Jump saying, if I don't tell him to leverage the snow game, I'm unsubbing. Yeah. So daytime diamond, Nez. We had our first Coors slate of the year, but Coors may not necessarily be Coorsing today because there's a whole bunch of weather on both slates, and there's potential snow in the forecast for that one. So how'd you treat the Coors game on the daytime diamond?
I don't think I have any of that game.
Okay,
but
cool.
I think I have, like, as far as baseball teams, like 4 different baseball teams in my exposures, and that's it.
Oh, wow. Okay, so you went really condensed for the morning because it was 10 games, question mark? 7
games.
A
Lot. It was a lot of games.
I'm trying to remember now. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see here. Oh, God. 7.
Yeah, okay. So it's 7 and 5 today because we're missing out on those 2 middle games that were kind of in no man's land. But yeah, 7 games, and you only have exposure to 4 of the 14 teams on the slate.
Yeah, I'm sure people were in there with me. You saw I was pretty heavy on the St. Louis Cardinals this morning.
Yeah, so. I did notice that you were coming in there and you were doing Jack Flaherty as SP1, maybe a little pirate homertism there, or you were worried about the weather with Max Fried and just liked the spot better for Flaherty. Is that was your thought process there? And then you were just jamming cards?
Yeah, I was like, looking at the implied run totals, and I thought that Tigers had a better implied run total, or you know what I'm saying. White Sox had a lower implied run total than the Pirates. A little homerism too, but and weather to boot. So I liked Flaherty's chances of getting me a dub QS today. He's got 52 pitches through 3, so he needs to chill out. But
yikes, yeah. Man, they've been pesky recently, eh?
I know they're kind of back to pesky, our Tigers. They were like legitimate last year.
No, I was referring to White Sox to start the year have been kind of pesky against our Tigers.
Yeah, for sure. Derek Carty was out here saying that like their win total over for futures bets was like a slam dunk. He said that the markets were way disrespecting the White Sox, and what do you know, smartest guy in the room making smart calls.
Yeah, no doubt. Jet Drop Bombs dropping by to say he checked out Cardi after listening to us on the show there. Yeah, man, it's kind of the OG gold standard for baseball is you start with Bad X and move on from there. Trevor's asking, we're going to start with the hoops. We're going to do hoops first, and then we'll do baseball there. I think we should start, Nez, because we're on a time crunch today, and we got a lot to get through. We got to start where we always start, though. We can't skip over last night and last night's winners. Bash Barty, man. Bash Barty's been on low-key heater recently, noticing him at the top of the leaderboard all the time here. This is probably, I'm just guessing. I'm sure we could find out with the Woods tool, but what do you think? 3rd, 4th 5th main slate of the year for him.
It's got to be something like that. I can easily probably check that. But yeah, I swear he's been just like winning everything lately. I see him in the early lobbies quite a bit. Yeah, man, he's been crushing.
Yeah, very much so. Beautifully constructed lineup here. We talked about Giannis yesterday, how he was 1-0-1 with a bullet. Don't overthink it with the probable tag and the Luka stuff on the slate. You did need a Miami piece from that pace up environment. It looked like it was going to be Bam at the start of the game. Bam ended up having a nice night, but Bam was playing really well in the first half there. And then Tyler Hero kind of took over in the third quarter there, iced a bunch of threes. Austin Reeves, who I was not waving in the third round with both the Lakers guys coming out. That game did not play as I anticipated, and it was an Austin Reeves versus Pods showdown back and forth there. Pretty crazy for the late night hammer. RJ Barrett, you still needed his 41 in the fourth round. And then big hat tip to Winky, who came in here and told us Bub Carrington was the guy you were going to need today. He was the guy that you wanted instead of Alex Sarr. Unabated projections were all over Bub Carrington as well. His minutes seemed the safest of the bunch, and he got home in a big way. And then Bono with a career high 28 real life basketball points, career high there, 47 fantasy points. You needed 2 6-rounders, and the way that he got there was with the swap there. It was just one of those slates where 2 6-rounders were necessary. And we talked about it yesterday, how it was like I said on the slate that I was just gonna do my rankings to 22 or 24, and then I was mixing and matching. I didn't think like Kuzma should have been going every draft. I didn't think, some of these other guys should have been going more so than those back end pieces because you could find some ceiling outputs. Yeah, D'Lo as potentially one of those too. Like D'Lo, what the hell happened with him? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Zach Edey, like he was, he's playing big time minutes now with the new coaching staff in Memphis, but it hasn't really materialized to anything great in terms of fantasy output just yet. But yeah, stay on with that one. We lost Nez here. I imagine he just had a connection thing. Yeah. Nick dropping by to say the pick and roll winner was more impressive in his opinion. That, by the sounds of it, is Nick's third pick and roll of the week here. Just truly insane for New Jersey Nick here. Drafting life for him has been taking over in a big way. All right, there we go. You back? You good?
Yeah, my power just went out of nowhere.
RKO'd the power.
Not supposed to be raining. I just got my lawn treated too, so that would be a nightmare. But
oh, gross, dude.
Yeah, we're back.
Love hearing stuff like this in the chat. First time guys rolling through. Warren saying joined the Discord yesterday, got 11th last night. Thanks for the insight, guys. Love that so much, man. Big shouts there. All right, Nez, let's move into actually, you know what? While we're doing last night's winners, I won't save it for baseball. Let's just do it right off the top here. 3-bagger Thursday, which was the main contest of the two there. This was the shorter of the slates there. You needed Yankees contrarian onslaught there. Shout out to RJ Rat 84, 4-man Yankees, Ben Rice leading off, Trent Grisham drawing into that lineup, as we alluded to on the show, that it was going to be an Austin Wells sit day. Nasty Nestor bounces back in a big way. Reds bats have fallen flat on their face for the last 3 games. And then the early slate, Daytime Diamond, Little Mex there. Big shout out to Little Mex there. We actually looked on this one on stream when we were live sweating it, and then it ended up holding a great start to the season for Christian Campbell and Alex Bregman. Taiwan Walker was the pitcher you needed. One off. Cedric Mullins leading off there. Got to give some love to JT McKenzie, Brad, Sam Olsen, all the usual suspects up here.
They took all the money.
Crazy, man. All these guys. Esperanda, our guy Justin up here as well. I mean, the true sickos of the sick, back to crushing at the top of the draft board. It is truly baseball season again when you see a leaderboard that looks like this.
Yep, that's how you know we're back. All we're missing is our buddy Just Brett.
Yeah, Just Brett and Jay Witz and Few. Yeah, the good old boys. All right, Nez. I ran 10 this morning in NBA, hand drafted them all. I think we should talk about the Q tags really quickly here. Anthony Davis being 1, Cade Cunningham being 2, and then let's talk about those two just first here. So obviously Anthony Davis nuked the last slate that we played there. We hyped him up pretty good on our last show. He got it done in just 29 minutes and with a trip to the locker room with a laceration there. They're playing front end back-to-back tonight against the Clippers. It's the last game on the slate, and they play the Clippers tomorrow in LA. So both teams are playing each other both nights back-to-back in the same city. How are we treating Anthony Davis tonight?
I think you got to think he's out, right? Just by looking at the spread and the line movement.
Okay.
Unabated line has Dallas at 7.5 at 8 o'clock. It's now at 10.5. To me, that's pretty bearish on AD's availability. Plus, given the context that you said, back to back in LA, he's probably not going to play one of these games, and it looks like it's not going to be this one.
Okay. Yeah. I'm kind of in lockstep with you there. I think he definitely is going to miss one of the two, I would think, even though these games are like pretty impactful, like they're almost, I'm getting skittish to say it, that they're locked in to the play-in tournament, because they're not, but like, you got to think with this team getting closer to full here with like whatever 7-8 games left there, that they can afford to sit him one of these two nights and still be battling for the play-in tournament, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Let's look. I'm going to look at it for a half second here. Check my homework now. They are 2 games up on the Kings.
That should probably hold, right? I mean,
yeah. Suns and
they
Blazers
look decent. It's a shame they lost. It's a shame they lost Kyrie. Oh yeah, Blazers are coming.
Yeah, I mean, this back end here, like this is a pretty important 2-game set against the Clippers, because the Clippers are, they're towing that line of pushing up by the Grizzlies here as well, and they want to get out of the play-in tournament. Same with the T-Wolves, but then the Mavs want this head-to-head to kind of shrink that gap so they don't get caught from behind, kind of thing, from the Suns and the Blazers. So these 2 games are pretty impactful. That being said, I still don't think he can play both.
No, I don't think. It would be so foolish to have him play both.
Yeah,
it's short-sighted. Like you're not even going to do anything serious in these playoffs without Kyrie. So, I know you have a very strong incentive to try. Yeah. In Dallas, considering you push all the chips in, but don't be foolish. So yeah, it seems like no AD today if you're just reading the tea leaves.
Okay. This is so Nick and Justin saying similar things in the chat right now, that they think they'll try and get a win tomorrow, hoping that Kawhi sits tomorrow. Yeah. So if the Kawhi-less Clippers team is a better opportunity for them to try and steal one of these 2 games and split this series.
What if the Clippers, cut the Mavs and they actually played Kawhi on the back-to-back? You think they would ever do that?
I don't know. These games are pretty important, but I think they know how well they've been playing in recent memory here, and that they think they can, as long as they're in, they can beat almost anyone in the West in a series. Like, I think that's how the Clippers feel right now.
Yeah, and I think they're right to think that.
As long as they're healthy, right?
Of course.
Let's talk about the Cade one. Cade at Toronto tonight, returns home versus Memphis tomorrow. He's missed 5. They've been doing this progressive thing where he was out. Then the last 2 have been D tags. Yep. Now he gets the Q tag today. So Detroit kind of falls under that umbrella of teams that are forthcoming with the injury report, like the Pacers, like Orlando, like that sort of thing. Is a Q tag today on the front end an indication that he's playing tonight, or an indication that he's playing tomorrow night?
Probably tomorrow.
Okay.
Tomorrow.
All right.
Given why would they bring him back? Not at home, and have him sit for the home game against a team that's, they're going to need him more for, other than the Raptors that would love to lose tonight. So I don't think it makes sense for Cade to play tonight.
Yeah, the only two little wrinkles there would be that they're without Beef Stew because of the suspension, and they're without Tobias Harris, who's already been ruled out there. If Scotty Barnes then decides to play this evening and play the second night of the back-to-back after the Q tag, that then they could counter by playing Cade tonight and just kind of not waiving tomorrow. But I'm in agreement with you that I think they're setting it up so that this is progressive and Cade plays tomorrow. But these two are very important to talk about, because if they were full goes, no Q tags right now, they would both be 5-6 spots higher in terms of ADP. Yeah. So this is a little different than the Q tags in which we were talking about the last couple days, because Scotty Barnes's Q tag was kind of well, he'd maybe move 4 spots with the soft cap. These guys are they'd be fringe back end first round picks if they played today, even if they were capped at 29.
Yeah. Maybe not quite first round, but I get what you're saying, though. If we knew for a fact that these guys were playing, they'd probably be going higher.
I guess on the back end there's Jamal Murray, who's got the Q tag, who did not play last time out he hasn't played multiple in a row now. I think it was 3. 3 in a row. He has missed now. The other guys, just by note on Denver, have probable tags. So he is still the one with the Q tag there. Strother, who hasn't played in a long time, getting a Q tag designation, which is just bullish for Denver in general, moving forward into the postseason there. And then there was Boston with Jaylen Brown, who came back last game and now gets slapped with the Q tag. He still had that soft cap at 28, but was able to put up 37 fantasy points in that one. And then Scotty Barnes and Siakam were the two last ones that I wanted to add here. Thoughts on these guys? Thoughts on playability, draftability, yes or no's, in or outs?
So Scotty Barnes, that's a hand, right?
Yeah, apparently. So Winky's note last night in his breakdown was apparently it's been ongoing that he's been shooting with 3 fingers. He's been shooting the same way that Tyrese Maxey was shooting when we wanted to not play Tyrese Maxey.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. And I think all the pick'ems and everything kind of indicate that too, because his given the minutes are down as well, all that stuff's been on the low end for Scotty. So that makes sense. Either way, it seems like someone that wow, the ADP 36 though on a 10-game slate. I know it's 10 games, but yeah, I think I would just I'd draft Scotty if I wanted to play a swap. Yeah. That's where I'd leave it.
My first run, I ranked 32, and then I used these 4 at the back as swap spots, basically.
Yep.
Yeah. We got a little lean from the Unabated team here. Fan said earlier he feels pretty good about Scotty being out. It was just interesting that they submitted the injury report and listed him as Q instead of just listing him out right away.
Why?
Because
it's so annoying to me.
Yeah, because it was pretty clear from the jump, especially with yesterday, that they were just going to go out tags on this night, and then the out tags become in tags the next night because IQ and Pirtle are just available, and then tonight they would just go flip flop with what we thought would be RJ out, Akbaji out, and then Barnes out. But for whatever reason, Barnes has the Q.
Yeah, I just don't understand the cues. Don't understand. Yeah. Maybe it helps keep the NBA off their scent. I don't know.
Yeah, right. They're not full take.
We weren't sure.
Yeah. We could talk about the Pacers ones as we kind of rip game by game here. I think that's an easy spot to talk about. And same with the Boston one. Let's jump over to the beautiful automated platform. We just got another news dump here. Portland officially filed. So back-to-backs, guys. Warriors, Lakers, Raptors, Blazers. Raptors have submitted. Blazers have now submitted. So these Q tags and the doubtful tags, nothing for Denny Avdia, which is good. there. And then we still got the Simons and Kumara Q tags there. Yeah. And then the back end back-to-backs are the Detroit one that we just talked about, and then the Dallas and the Clippers one that we talked about with the availability for AD. So there's your lay of the land. Those are your 7 teams with back-to-backs on this 10 gamer. Nez, let's start. Kings and Hornets, 217, 11-point favorites for the Kings here. Sabonis going every single draft as usual. Bridges and Mark Dubb going majority of drafts at the back end there. Bridges every time, but just at a more palatable price tag than we're accustomed to. And then auxiliary Kings pieces outside of DeRozan, nobody else really going. So how do you feel just macro here with these pieces from these ball games at ADP right now?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard not to like Sabonis right now. He's just been really consistent. I mean, like you're almost guaranteed like 15 boards from him. It's hard not to like that. Yeah, it is crazy. Now, I'm not going to have a lot of them because I do like some players over him as far as like ceilings go today. So but Sabonis is totally fine. And then DeRozan, hard not to like DeRozan, man. Just playing a ton, filling the stat sheet right now against Charlotte. He should. It's hard not to be confident in DeRozan.
Yeah. Charlotte side obviously without Melo for the remainder of the year there, but they also are without Damian Bow, who we were talking about before there, and then Nick Smith Jr. has a Q tag. Mark Dubb has the probable tag there, but we expect him to go this evening along with Taj Gibson and Seth Curry. I do think it's interesting to note that they did start. Josh Green is out, and in the second half of last game when Josh Green was out, they ended up starting Nurk alongside Mark Williams. Yeah. And then they ended up closing with Diabates alongside Mark Williams. So they're willing to play 2 5s beside each other now, and one of them play the 4. I don't know how that impacts Mark Williams, like from splits. I can't imagine it's good to have another big bodied center out there gathering boards, especially in what would be a traditionally good spot against Sabonis. But yeah, just putting that out there for people on that one. And, maybe KJ Simpson comes into our life if we just get him starting at the 1, that sort of deal, and playing north of 30 minutes. Like his minutes seem the safest of the bunch to me today, missing some of that handling, but I don't think we can necessarily get there on a 10 gamer.
Yeah, no, I fully agree. I can't help but chase the Mark Dubb ceiling in the 6th round a little bit, but it's probably as far as I'll go.
Yeah, Nick feels the same way there. I'm a little skittish on those backup 5s playing the 4 alongside him. Let's move on here. Pacers have a laundry list of an injury report here, and they're 16-point favorites at home in a 238.5, which is the second highest total on the slate there. As far as their injury report is concerned here, both sides, absolute novels here. But the ones that we really care about, Benny Math, Naismith, and Siakam, all with Q tags today. And then some of the G Leaguers listed with Q tags alongside them. On the Jazz side, we have out tags on Clarkson, Collins, Kessler, Markkanen, KJ Martin, Cody Williams, and then we have Q tags on Potter and Oscar. So, I mean, we have no idea what we're going to get from the Jazz right now. And by the sounds of it, no idea what we're going to get from the Pacers. And because of that, Hallie's the only guy really getting drafted right now. Should we be aping into more pieces of this game? Should we be aping into Hallie here?
I think Q tag Siakam is probably a great way to spend your 6th round pick.
Okay. Yeah.
If he plays, there's a chance that he gives you a nice score against Utah. I don't think he does play, and it's just nice to have the extra information on a slate like this. It's massive. There's gonna be some really nice value opening up by tip for sure. Given how massive the slate is, given all the Q tags, hard not to try to figure out who's the next man up is in Indianapolis. because it's a great spot against Utah. And if all these guys sit, it's somebody that is going to look pretty appealing.
Well, have you heard of a guy? I might have a
Who?
name for you. I might have a
At the
name
two?
for you. I
At the
might have
two?
a. I don't know, man. I don't think TJ will start, even if they get everybody ruled out. Like you rule everybody out, and TJ still doesn't start. Like they haven't been doing that this year. It happened a couple times last year, but I don't think he started once this season. So I mean, he's kind of soft capped at 25, even if he does end up, in a more predominant role. But you know what he could do from a rate standpoint. That being said, 10 game slate. Just had to get it off my chest there. Any love for anyone on the Jazz, dude? Like, could you play Keynote tonight? Because like this is like pace up, right? Like, can you get to Collier? Can you get to Filipowski in the last round?
I think Kyle, right?
Yeah.
I think Kyle makes a lot of sense. Collier, I mean, of course, when I'm not on Collier, had back-to-back decent games there. I mean, you could probably get to Collier. Where's Keynote? There he is, down at the bottom here. I mean, Keynote, we haven't seen a ceiling from him in a minute. But Kyle and Collier, I think, are definitely worthy of sprinkles.
Yeah, that seems fine to me. If you want to do just like one-off Jazz piece in the last round, yeah. I think it comes down to one of those three. So I'd be fine, with a mix and match in the sixth there. Yeah. All right, let's talk about Pistons and Raptors. This is obviously going to be hard to talk about, just given, what we talked about at the front of the show with Cade there. But Pistons as 11-point favorites here on the road against the Raptors, front end back-to-back, 227 here. Basically, no Raptors piece is getting drafted unless someone takes the Q-tag Scotty in the last round. If you look at the hashtag models and you give Pirtle and you give IQ 28 minutes, like they would both be draftable in the last round, but I'm very skittish to do so. I have no idea what to expect. But the fact that they rested last night and they were comfortable giving RJ 28 last night, maybe you just 1-for-1 replace IQ in the RJ projection and you could find yourself to some IQ this evening. But man, I'm kind of surprised that no one's really getting drafted here just in general. It's basically only Duren in the last round outside of the Cade Q tag. I think there's got to be something we can end up liking here. I just don't know what.
Yeah, good call out on that. It does feel like IQ is a pretty good pick here today. I think I trust him more than Pirtle.
We just got a hoops. Here. We got a Sabonis Q tag. We got a Sabonis Q tag just dropped on us. Midday Q against the Hornets when you're 11.5-point favorites on the road. That game we just finished up on. Yeah, I don't know. How do you feel about that one in terms of Sabonis there? Let me look up what the designation is if it's on the official yet.
If you're not swapping to Joval, what are you doing?
Yeah, that brings Joval into play, huh? That makes the Mark Dub spot pretty fun too, because we used to just play centers against Joval all the time. So Joval swap and 6-round viable here, and the Mark Dub spot looks better.
Yeah, I mean, that could be a lot of fun.
Yeah. Do you think Monk starts tonight now?
I have like no idea what they're doing with Monk.
Yeah.
So would they start like wouldn't just like Joval sub in there and then that's that?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Unless you go, okay, we need more offense on the floor now because Sabonis isn't there and we don't want to run exclusively through Joval, so we start Monk alongside him as well.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. If Monk starts, then that's really fun.
Yeah. This is the big takeaway. Zach LaVine swaps to 25 fantasy points, going to hit like crack. That's so good. Oh man, Monk revenge game narrative, first round swaps, gross. Yeah, this is that was an LOL hoops out of nowhere there. Thank you to Ransack telling us that it's an ankle designation, so it isn't the midday illness thing. And I do believe it was the ankle designation that he was dealing with before. It was hamstring, then ankle that he was dealing with before when he missed like that 4 or
up and
5
down the
game
lower
absence.
body there.
Yeah, I think I'm like 87% certain in my mind. All right, let's go back to Pistons here. Nez, if Cade does not go this evening, do you want any 6th round Pistons? I'm seeing an Asar shout out in the chat here. Would you be into Asar, Dennis Schroeder, anything like that?
Maybe Jalen Duren.
Yeah.
I could like some. I like some Jalen Duren. I am always looking for the Asar game too. So yeah, I'll give Asar some love for sure. I mean, it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, it does make a lot of sense. It was Tim Hardaway Jr. who filled it up last time out. This is 3 straight games north of 20 real life basketball points without Cade from Tim Hardaway Jr. 32, 20, 23 kind of deal. So I found that interesting. Not playable on our site, but you know, look at these 6 stocks from Asar, you know. He could give you that outlier performance that like Chet gave in the last round. Couple days ago.
It was weird that Sasser like randomly got the run against the Spurs, right? Like, was that not like kind of random? I mean, I know we liked Sasser in like 2 years ago or whatever, but
yeah, I think maybe just because they want to stick with the rotation that like Beasley. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why that was.
I don't like him tonight or anything. It was just kind of weird.
Yeah, I actually don't know why that was. I'll popcorn machine it in a second here and go back and look at that because that's one that you caught me off guard that I did not notice. So I didn't watch any of that ball game.
Yeah, it was a few days ago or a few games ago. So
yeah, I just happened to notice the box score on Hardaway. That was the OKC game, right?
Spurs, I believe.
Oh, the Spurs game. Okay, that's why I missed that. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'll look this up while we go here, but as of right now, just kind of Duren for you in the last round there.
Yeah, Duren, and I'll think about Sasser, but not. I'm sorry, I meant Asar. There's some. I was on Sasser there. I'll think about Asar. I'll think about it because I like Asar. I don't know why I don't want to play him as much.
Yeah. And then the Raptors side, we were just talking about kind of IQ in the last round there. If he gets the RJ tonight and he's free, that sort of deal. And then Scotty Barnes as a swap candidate, we don't think he goes this evening. And I don't really want to play Scotty Barnes with 3 fingers right now. It looked pretty bad last night. Dude.
No, thank you. But I am interested in IQ quite a bit.
All right. Let's move on here. Celtics and Suns. Celtics are done with that long road trip there. They are back home. 13.5 point favorites at home against the Suns, who are fighting for that play-in tournament. This is a 226 total here. Obviously, pace down spot for the Suns, pace up spot for the Celtics. Jaylen Brown has the Q tag in the last round, and then some G Leaguers listed with the Q tags. Outside of that, the Celtics look full here. And then on the Suns side, obviously still missing Kevin Durant, but going to have Bradley Beal back for this one. Booker goes quite high. Tatum goes quite high. Zinger goes in the middle rounds. And then you can kind of do whatever you want with the rest of this game. Thoughts on the high ADPs and then other guys that you could potentially get to?
Yeah, I mean, I think Booker is just like way underpriced. Not really too concerned about the spread here. I just think that Booker is in line for a shit ton of work, and I'm not really going to be too fearful of it. I'm going to play for the ceiling with Devin Booker today. So I think I might have like 50% Devin Booker so far as of our recording this.
Spicy, dude. So where'd you move him up to in your ranks that you were getting that? Because I mean, he's ranked at about 9 ADP right now, something like that when I did my initial run. I will not argue. For me. End of the first? Okay. Yeah. I will not argue that he has all the usage in all the world in a must-win spot on a NBA TV game. But it's also just like not a great spot on paper when Celtics are like back near damn full, right?
Yeah. I mean, that's very true.
Yeah. and it just doesn't matter. It's just let him fill
Yeah,
it up.
I'm playing Booker, man.
All right, cool. No, I respect it for sure there. Alan, just a guy in the chat asking where you ranking Book because he's been passing on it. You said end of the first round, so like 6 or 7 there.
Mm-hmm.
Will you have him over Sabonis now with the Q tag?
I did initially.
Ooh, you spicy boy. Love it. Okay, cool.
Stand for something.
All right. Yeah, stand for something indeed. All right, cool. Celtics side there. I mean, can you play Beal in the last round, or is it just too thin? There's nobody else
No
we want
Beal
on
for
the
me.
Suns, right? Yeah. Yeah, nobody else worth playing on the Suns just in general. Although, Nez, now that you've become a father, touching tribute with the side of that hair there to our boy Grayson Allen.
This has been coming in strong. Grayson's trying to get like me, is what I've been told.
I love it.
I've been ready for this.
Celtics, Nez, we didn't have the Jaylen Brown conversation. We've talked all about the high holidays. We've talked about the soft 20-minute cap there, or 28-minute cap when he came back. He did enough last time to matter, but the slate was broken by a bunch of 90 burgers and whatever, that his 37 in the last round did not end up mattering. Can you get to Jaylen Brown in the last round? Do you like Porzingis in this spot and attacking Nick Richards? Yeah, what are your thoughts on all the auxiliary Celtics pieces? Not Tatum.
It's tough whenever they're all so healthy, but Jaylen Brown Q, I mean, I don't even think that he needs to play. It doesn't mean that he won't, but he's not someone that I have a lot of interest in today. But Porzingis at ADP feels fun. I've got Tatum 4, and Derek White, I am thinking about in the 6th. Seeing people take him in the 6th makes me think that I need to get there too. But for me, so far, it's just Tatum and Zinger.
Is that just potential leverage of, Derek White, good spot against the Suns, or is that potential leverage off the fact that, Jaylen Brown sits and we see an increase in usage kind of thing?
Yeah, probably the latter.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. So if you were on team sit JB there, that Derek White becomes more palatable in the last round. Okay, cool. Let's move on here. Nez, Blazers and Bulls here. Blazers on the back-to-back. I put Denny on the cover just because he fucking deserves it, man. He just deserves it. He's been playing so well recently. Actually, shout out to Bub last night too. That trade working out for both sides right now in a big way. That trade, we were like, man, we can't believe they gave up Bub to take on Denny Avdia, and then all of a sudden we see what Denny Avdia is doing this year, and it's like, holy shit, both teams might have just come out pretty well from this trade in terms of their own individual timelines. There, Bulls have some high ADPs in both Giddey and Vooch and Kobe White going in this one, and then the Blazers with their new injury report here, Nez. I talked about it yesterday with the Simons situation, that Banton was free and he was a free swap, and he ended up playing very well at the tail end of that ball game. Did not factor into winning fantasy lineups, but he played some good basketball. I think it was 28 real life basketball points at the tail end of that one. I'm trying to find the Blazers' new injury report here, but we can just look at it on the right hand side of the unabated screen here. But yeah, Simons, second night of the back-to-back with the Q tag, with the forearm contusion. Jeremy Grant with the D tag that he's yet to play through. Kamara now has a Q tag, and Duop Reith, who left last night's ball game, has the Q tag today here. So what do you like in this game? Because it's going to be, one of the higher totals on the slate. It's going to be pretty important for both sides, but more importantly, important for the Blazers there. And it's got some really high ADPs in Giddey and Denny Avdia.
Yeah, hard not to think that this is like the game, like one of the biggest games of the night here for fantasy, given what we've got going on with the Blazers and Scoot out. If we can get Simons out again, that would just be tremendous. But we might not have Kamara either, so that makes things interesting as well. Yeah, Denny and Shaden Sharp amazing picks today, with or without Simons. I don't care. I'm doing it.
Yeah, they've both been playing some really nice ball. Like, Shaden Sharp had another 50 burger last night. Didn't need it because he kind of lined up on the right-hand side of the board more often than the left-hand side of the board there. But we talked about it on the show, or I talked about it on the show, where if we knew right now that Simons was out, that, Shaden Sharp would have an ADP of 10 kind of thing.
Yeah.
That was yesterday's slate. So today, yeah. Official injury report, Kamara, questionable. Grant, D tag, Scoot out, Duop Reith Q tag, Simons Q tag, and then the bigs in Time Lord and Aiton listed as out. Man, we haven't seen a Klingon stealing in a long time. I saw people pushing him up in a big way yesterday to like pick 20 through 24. Anything you like about the Klingon spot here today against Vooch?
I mean, I like Klingon, but I am like way down on his ceiling, right now, based on what we've seen lately. So I don't think it's like a must get spot for Klingon tonight. I don't even know that I have him in my top 40 personally.
Yeah, he had 39 fantasy points last night in that 29 minutes. He's playing like 32, 28, 29, 30, 31. Yeah.
Not bad.
Yeah, good real life basketball right now, and a good fill-in contributor with all those fives being out. But like the fantasy ceiling just hasn't even been there in recent memory because Denny and Sharp have been doing so much in terms of handling and offensive end.
Yeah, it's tough for him to matter right now.
Yeah. Bull's side there. What do you think about the Giddy, Vooch, and White ADPs? And can we get to anybody else? There is potential that Lonzo Ball comes back this evening, and Javon Carter coming back this evening. They've already listed available Dalen Terry and Julian Phillips, like just rotationary pieces, still without Trey Jones and Io. But yeah, handling role could potentially be affected if Lonzo comes back and plays his, 16 to 20 minutes. He's probably going to get like a lot of lead touch time in that window of time, which takes away from Kobe White and takes away from Giddy, which is not stuff that we would want to see. But that's anecdotal. Are you concerned about that at all?
I think Giddy's way undervalued right now.
Okay. All right. Cool.
Yeah.
So you don't care. You don't care at all about the potential return of anyone.
No, man. Giddy's pick him right now is 46 fantasy points. That's like top 5 right now. It's better than LeBron. It's better than Harden. Yeah. He's been balling, dude. So, like I said, this game just seems so fun. I'm not really too concerned about that stuff.
Yeah, it does seem so fun. It does seem like one of the best paces on the slate, and one of the highest totals as well. So good spot in general there. Any scroll the F downs from this game? I will throw Banton out there. I think he is fine in the 6th round right now. If you want to take the shot on Simons being out, that being said, you could just take Simons and swap to it. Yeah, thoughts on that?
Yeah, I love Banton, but
yeah.
you have to wait for Simons for Banton, and even then it's like maybe, but the Banton game is coming. It is coming. If they're gonna continue to throw him out there like this, one of these days he's gonna pop off. Just wait.
Yeah, absolutely. Next one up here, Nez, Thunder versus Rockets. This is number 1 versus number 2 in the Western Conference there. Thunder as 6.5 point favorites on the road. This is a 228.5. I'm not seeing a whole lot of fantasy goodness in this one. I think this is like good real life basketball game and something I'm interested in seeing these two teams match up against one another. But I'm just looking at this one when both of these teams are like nearing full. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's pretty hard to parse through. The Thunder will be missing just Jalen Williams with a Y, and then Isaiah Joe has a Q tag, and then the Rockets have Dylan Brooks out due to the technical suspension there, but expecting everybody else in that one. Just thoughts in general here.
I think this game is gonna rock. I'm excited for this one quite a bit.
Okay.
Rockets are playing inspired right now, trying to hold on to that 2 seed. And yeah, I'm actually excited about this one.
Okay.
You know, I can understand game environment for some people on paper not looking great, but I think this is going to be an awesome game. So I basically like everybody in it.
Okay.
And I normally am not like on J-Dub whenever the Thunder are fully healthy. I think this is a pretty good J-Dub spot, pretty good Chet spot as well. Like I just think this is going to be just a really good game between two powerhouses in the West, and a competitive game is usually pretty good for fantasy.
All right, cool. Sounds good there. Favorite pieces that are in this game relative to ADP, like who are you pushing up relative to ADP?
Amen, I have a little bit ahead of ADP as always.
Evergreen. Yeah.
Yeah. J Dub a little bit ahead of ADP as well.
Okay, cool. Can we get to Fred Van Fleet, aka Dick Van Meat, in the last round there? Can you get to some Jalen Green? Do we think it's Tari Eason or Jabari Smith Jr. in the starting lineup this evening?
Yeah, I don't know about Tari and Jabari, but I'm probably just going to gnaw wave those guys. But Jalen
Okay.
Green, you could probably throw in here and there.
Okay. And Fred Van Fleet, you like that or no?
Nah.
Okay, cool. And then any Hartenstein in the last round or just Chet?
Just Chet for me.
Okay.
Maybe missing something there. That's a Hartenstein revenge game, right?
Yeah, one of 5 on the calendar for him to circle. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I like Chet.
Do you think they start small in this game and they play Chet at the 5 and play him against Sengun? Or do you think they start Hartenstein and Chet?
Has Chet been coming off the bench? Honestly, I don't know.
No, he's almost always starting. Like it's
Yeah,
it's just whether Hartenstein starts or not.
got it. I can see Hartenstein starting.
Yeah.
Couldn't you?
I don't know. I don't know what you do against Sengun because the reason I asked the question is because when the Rockets have been forced to play small, not that Chet is small, but Chet isn't like a traditional 5, right? Like when they're playing these non-traditional 5s that are stretch 5 guys, the Rockets have had a propensity to go small in counter with them, which would be bad for Sengun. That's why I ask.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. I will say I'm not like on Sengun necessarily.
Okay. So you like the auxiliary pieces a little bit better relative to ADP, and you like Chet as a scroll in the last round for the Thunder.
Yeah. Those are the guys that I'm looking at from this game.
Chet's not a scroll, rather. I meant pushing up J-Dub.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. Respect it. There, just give me a good basketball game to watch in general.
Exactly.
There. Yeah. All right, we got the evergreen what to do with the Cavs situation, but this looks to be one of the faster games on the slate. I have it as second fastest game on the slate behind Bulls and Blazers, but it is the highest total on the slate with a 242. This is the Cavs 12.5 point favorites on the road against the Spurs. I have yet to see a Spurs piece get drafted. I do think, people definitely, do the Castle thing again, especially if they're box score watching, do the Vassell thing there. It's interesting to note that Chris Paul has started playing real minutes here, but I'm not sure we can get excited about Spurs players against the Cavs. But then the Cavs on the other side, pace up spot, bad defense here. Garland was a guy I was trying to get a little bit over on that 33 ADP. I think he'll project better than that. But yeah, just thoughts on the core 4 for the Cavs here, Nez, and then thoughts on, can we get to any Spur?
Yeah, this is a tricky one as always with the Cavs. Cavs in a spot where they look like they should win by 1 million.
Mm-hmm.
Let's check out Spida here. Spida 43 fantasy point projection. What are you saying?
No, I was just going to add that no Ty Jerome, no Dean Wade tonight.
That does help a little bit here for these rotations. I mean, Spider's been playing so well that you just maybe want to just like continue to ride that in this spot. I mean, probably the move. Last time they played the Spurs, what he put up 60. So
Seems
fantasy
good.
points. Yeah. I think that's if you want to pattern match there a little bit. One of these Cavs is definitely going to be who you need.
Okay.
So you got to min one Cav almost certainly tonight.
All right, cool. No, I respect that. Min one Cav, I respect that. So that'll let you get to Allen in the last round, or if you're lucky enough to get to Garland in the last round, or push up Garland to the 5th, that sort of
Yeah.
deal. So min one Cav is not a crazy suggestion because obviously pace up and obviously high total and obviously big favorites here. Any love for any Spur in the last round? They could potentially get some help back tonight. Charles Bassey, who's missed some time, has the Q tag this evening. And Keldon Johnson has the probable tag, who missed last game. Jeremy Sohan is out. Just thoughts on, probably only Castle, CP3, and Vassell would be the options there.
Yep.
But any love for any of them?
Castle for sure.
Okay.
That's it though.
Okay. But Castle over Vassell for you?
Yeah. I respect the CP3 minutes coming back though. Good for him. But
yeah. He's I heard someone else say it on Twitter earlier today that he hasn't missed a game this year.
Really?
Yeah, that's crazy, huh? Like it
I
blew
did
my
not
mind
realize
too.
that.
Yeah. I think he's played every single game this year.
Huh.
Yeah. Good for him.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I was always a CP3 guy. I know he rubbed a lot of people the wrong way because he was just kind of like, I don't know, just the way he played rubbed people the wrong way. But I loved him as like a kind of like a throwback, slightly worse shooting version of Nash as like a pass first guy. You know what I mean?
A good player, man. He's a better player than his maybe just because there's no rings there, people are gonna completely dismiss him. But
I think he's top
good.
10 all time. I mean, say what you will about win share stats and probabilities, but I think he's top 10 all time NBA leader in win shares.
It's impressive, man. I mean, you can't really
crazy. Yeah.
Can't take that away from him.
Yeah. All right, let's move on here. We got the Nuggets. They are 1-point dogs on the road to against the Warriors. Warriors with an impressive win last night over the Lakers, which had some important Western Conference implications there for the Warriors' pursuit of getting out of that play-in and slowly pushing their way all the way up the Western Conference rankings here since the acquisition of Jimmy Butler. There, they've now won 4 in a row, which is got them up to 5th because the game versus the Lakers was essentially worth 2 there. And now this game tonight against the Nuggets could be worth 2 again. So they could find themselves to like the 3 seed by the end of the weekend here. It's truly remarkable what the Warriors have been doing here. So yeah, just thoughts on the Warriors and Steph and Jimmy Butler's ADPs, that sort of thing. We do not have an official injury report from them just yet, but just given the way last night went, I'm not concerned about anyone missing this evening. I would think that this game's important enough to play the big guys on the back-to-backs, and Pods did enough of the heavy lifting yesterday. Kuminga also came back and had like 35 fantasy points in 25 minutes. So I think this team's going to be like nearing full here for the Warriors side.
Yeah, I had my third eye open for a minute that Steph Curry wouldn't play today.
Okay.
But then Kerr put out the quote at the end of last night that he expects his veterans all to play today. So that kind of, nixed that. But just because, he had the tailbone injury and then he like fell on it again last night, I think I saw. It looked like he was kind of sore. So I was like, oh man, maybe he's sore tailbone again. Maybe he sits, but doesn't seem like he's going to sit. Definitely a game that you want to have a lot of pieces of. This should be a really fun one, and all these Warriors ADPs are pretty solid. Nuggets though, just Joker. Westbrook opened up with an ADP of like 27, I think, or 26, something hilarious. Yeah. That now he's way down now.
Yeah, that was a pretty funny one there. Just Steph and Jimmy for you on the Warriors side, or do you want to click on Kuminga, Pods, or Green in the last round?
No Pods. Like hats off to him. No Kuminga. He's playing great. Draymond I could think about, but I don't think I need to do that on a slate this steep.
Yeah, I agree there. Never Draymond. Although we did see that 49 fantasy points. That was a bit of a ceiling for him there. Yeah, so let's have the Nuggets conversation. Obviously, early in the day, it was low-key laughable at that Westbrook ADP. As you guys can see, it is now fallen there, but they're anticipating probable tags on Joker, Gordon, and Christian Brown to come back this evening. We still have the Q tag on Jamal Murray available in the last round in most drafts. And then Q tag on Peyton Watson, who missed last time out, but looked like he was the closest to being able to play because they gave us a dump of everyone out. And then he was still waiting on a game time decision. So I'm treating it like he's coming back this evening. And then Julian Strother, who's missed a bunch of time, who has now been listed with the Q tag here. He's not going to factor into our game or anything, but it's just interesting to note. Favorite plays to get here outside of Joker, or do you only want Joker?
I think I only want Joker.
Okay.
Really? I mean, I don't know. MPJ, Aaron Gordon could definitely have good games, but I'll have to think about that later. For me, it's just Joker here.
Okay, cool. No Jamal in the last round and then potentially swap to somebody else. No Westbrook if we think Jamal's going to sit or something like that.
I think Jamal's totally fine in the last
sure.
round. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No Westbrook though.
Sounds good to me. Yeah, we'll have to wait a little bit later to lock there, but getting to the MPJs of the world just doesn't feel good on a 10 gamer when you can get some lead handling on another team. Like maybe with pick 36 and paired with Joker or something, but that would be kind of like the only instance for me.
Yep, definitely.
Cool. Pels and Lakers here. Lakers are 14-point favorites at home. This is a 220.5 total. Their Pelicans obviously just decimated and without everybody for the entirety of forever now, and that includes the likes of Jordan Hawkins, who's been added to that. So they're getting thinner by the day, but obviously no Herb Jones, no CJ, no Trey Murphy, no DeJounte, no Zion, all that sort of stuff. Lakers have not submitted yet. They lost that important ball game last night to the Warriors there, and there was a quote after the game. LeBron was asked if he would play tomorrow. He said he would go home, sleep, and we'll deal with Friday on Friday, was his quote. So not really providing us any context there. So waiting on the injury report for them. I do have my third eye for LeBron potentially sitting on the back here because, man, he just hasn't fully – I mean, he played really well last night. Like he had 33 real life basketball points. He had 50 fantasy points or 50 someone like that. But I do think they need to find some spots here to just rest him before the postseason with the groin injury. So, he hasn't missed time because of it, but like since coming back, yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree. Like I don't know why he would play today. It just doesn't make any sense at all for him to play tonight. So I'm fading.
I agree with you there, man. Where did you have him ranked in your initial draft?
What was it, like 8?
Okay,
9?
so yeah, that's basically a full fade. Did you push up Reeves in tandem with that? Reeves obviously had a really nice game last night, 40 plus fantasy points. I think it was 46 or something like that. So did you pull up Reeves in tandem with that, trying to get over if LeBron's out?
I did.
Yeah, I think that's pretty sharp. I mean, Reeves played 40 minutes last night, but no reason to think he can't do it again.
I don't know if you heard me. Yes, I did.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, you lagged out for
sorry.
me.
Yeah,
you're good. Yeah, I think that's pretty sharp. Any love for any piece from the Pelicans, like in the last round? Can we click on, I don't know, literally any healthy body? Can we click on Jose Alvarado? Can we click on Yzmisi? Anything like that?
You can. I'm not. But sure you can. I don't think the app will prevent you.
Yeah, that feels good. Interesting. Nick did not consider Braun sitting for a second. Interesting. Okay, talk me through that, Nick.
Yeah.
Yeah, talk me through that. Yeah. Because I instantly was like, man, this guy, he did the whole media tour on the road trip. They did the whole road trip thing. Then they have a really important one last night. It just kind of feels like, yeah, maybe he finally gets a rest spot here.
I would expect it.
Yeah. Yeah. 14-point favorites at home. Second night. Yeah. All right, last game on the slate here. Clippers and Mavericks. Pace down spot for the Mavs here, but it is a 225.5. Clippers 11-point favorites at home. Clippers have an injury report that suggests they will be full tonight, with the exception of Ben Simmons and Amir Coffey. On the other side of that one, we talked about the looming Q tag with Anthony Davis. This is front end back-to-back where they both play each other tomorrow night. Kessler Edwards is out with the two-way contract. And then all the usual suspects like Lively, and actually Lively, to be fair, not a usual suspect because he did come back. But Brandon Williams out. Yeah, that's kind of all we got to really worry about. Caleb Martin probable, but yeah, I guess the big question is how we treat AD and then the trickle down effects of AD. Do you even want to get to PJ Washington or Spencer Dinwiddie or anything like this? Gafford in the last round today if he can't go.
I mean, how does Gafford not seem like a fun little click if AD doesn't play?
The only concern being the minutes, but if AD doesn't go, they are lacking some fives. I imagine like Kai Jones will play a decent amount if in that instance, but Lively's already been ruled out. So Gafford's been back for 2 games. He's yet to get over 20 minutes. But you do have to match size with Zubac on the other side there. So I mean, they're going to need Gafford to play some minutes in either of these 2 games. So pretty good shout there that, Gafford would be kind of fun.
Yeah, it would be. It'd be fun. Maybe not the best pick, but I'd give it a shot.
Yeah. You like that better than PJ Washington?
No, probably not, man.
Yeah,
I mean, I am
PJ's
really
winning.
excited to get Daniel Gafford back in that like God mode role.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, PJ's the better pick.
Okay. Yeah. I think PJ, he missed last game, but he's played north of 30 in the 2 previous ones. I think the rebound rate ticks up with AD splits off as well. So I'd be happy to get to PJ as a 6th round click today. Nick just saying that like the Lakers could slip so far down the standings, like these games mean too much for LeBron to be sitting. That's a fair take. The problem is I don't see any path to them. Never say never. Losing tonight. I don't know. Yeah. Let's talk about the Clippers side there, Nez, because they have quite high ADPs on our site right now. We're gonna have our Windhurst up for a Kawhi sit spot tomorrow, most likely. But Harden, Kawhi, Zubac going every single time, all at the front end of draft boards there. Looks like a good spot for all of them, even if AD is out. But that being said, if AD is out, 11-point favorites at home. I don't know. Can all of them get home? Can you pair them together? Like, what do you think?
I think they could all get home, man. Like I said the last time that we had the Clippers on a slate, they're just like really concentrated. So I still think there's a chance that all 3 of these guys could get home. And no Simmons still for Zubac is a good sign too. So I like all these guys, man. I like Kawhi. I think Kawhi right now is like undervalued every time that he's healthy and on a slate. I'm overweight Kawhi as often as I can be.
Cool. Yeah, I like that. Who do you have Kawhi over in that next little tier then?
Yeah, let me see where I'm at with him right now. Let's see here. I have him over Spida, over Curry. You guys got me thinking I'm an idiot for Devin Booker, so I have him over Booker now. Just behind Denny, though. Excuse me.
Okay. Just behind Denny. Yeah. All right. Let's answer Alan's question here. Who's going to be the guy you need tonight, Nez?
Ooh, the guy you need. Other than Joker, let's go Darius Garland.
I like that call. I like Darius Garland relative to his ADP right now. That does feel like one that's going to project better than that spot.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so.
I'm going to go a little gal brain here. Actually, it's not that gal brain given the box scores recently. I'm going Shaden Sharp, man. Pace up
Oh,
game,
yeah.
Chicago. I want somebody from that Portland Chicago game. I do think Simons was pretty close to playing the last time out. It's forearm contusion. Like, it doesn't sound like all that serious, and all the notes have been that it's not serious. So maybe there is a chance that he draws in on the second half here and kind of cannibalizes the good shit that they had going with just like the two of them out there in Avdia and Sharp. But the fact that Scoot's already out and we might be without Kamara this evening as well, I do think something from Portland will matter tonight. And if it's not Denny, why not Sharp in like the back end of drafts there?
Yep, great call. Great call. I love Sharp tonight.
Yeah. And the other one I would go Galbrain on is as I hop in a draft here. The other one I would go Galbrain on is Banton on like the second night of the back to back, like just leaning on him a little bit more if we get no Kamara and we get no Simons as a swap option. I think he's going to project like really well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's my guy. I had so much of him in the double triple.
Oh, speaking of which, do you have any life with your current double dribble team?
No.
No. I did
Absolutely
see I did see a look at the winner or leader right now, not winner, separating a little bit like that. Paulo Banchero has been a big part. I mean, shout out to the cover boy for yesterday. I said he was a better play than LeBron yesterday. Not a big deal. But yeah, he went heavy again there and has kind of been the guy you've needed through this stretch of the playoffs.
Yeah, it's been the big difference maker. I mean, the wing position was so important, obviously, and he's really stepped up. I'm excited to draft these again next year, though. I think the double dribble is so fun.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you like the format of this 6-week scoring period, or do you think it'd be adjusted next year?
I mean, it's not like I would have won if things were different. So I don't know. I think it's fine. They just got to fix the leaderboard.
Okay, sounds good. Let's take Luka here. That's going to probably be my number 2 player on the slate this evening. I don't know. How do you feel about SGA versus Luka?
I think I like SGA. I think I like SGA.
Yeah.
Blowout potential is so strong with the Pelicans.
Nick just saying that the games played thing in the playoffs was so silly because Orlando was one of the teams that had the fewest games played, and now Paulo's going crazy because guys were always going to sit and even shit out. So that checks out.
Yeah, trying to project that stuff was a fool's errand.
Nez, what do you say about pulling up Denny Avdia here?
That's where I have him.
Okay, let's do it. Bring up Demi Avdia, do it with Luka there. We're both in the camp that AD goes tomorrow, not tonight. Where are you comfortable taking AD, though?
Oh, man. 4th round?
Oh, wow. So you're going to have 0%, right?
Pretty close.
Okay. So you're fully off the AD. It's a full fade of AD tonight.
Yeah, everything just looks really bad about it.
Okay. Hallie goes there. Kawhi goes there. We get Donovan Mitchell to come back to us. Do we like Donovan over this next tier of guys here?
I think so. I think you just take the Spida value. That's too much.
I agree with you there. Some really nice box scores in recent memory from Donovan Mitchell, and they're in a pace up spot with the highest total on the slate.
Yeah. Yeah. Enough said.
NBA season long should end in November before back-to-back start.
Yes. Agreed, AMAC.
We just play from October to November for like 5 weeks and then it's over. Good luck, Alan. Thank you for the subs yesterday, my friend. All right, DeMar goes there at 18. Guys, before you dip out, or if you're coming in or you're in and out, just give us a like, give us a subscribe there on the Badge Bros YouTube channel. If you happen to be on the X side, hop on over to the YouTube side. We're coming out here doing this every damn weekday. Yeah, breaking down every slate that's out there for you guys. Trying to, at least.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Getting that DeMar up. I just made some adjustments to the ranks there.
All right, Nez. If we were playing LeBron as out, this Reeves price tag is probably pretty good, but it is getting paired with Luka, which doesn't excite me all that much. We could pull up like Sharp, but Sharp and Avdia probably doesn't go great. We could do the Chet thing if you like that game. Porzingis in a good spot. What do you like?
Let's do Kristaps.
All right.
If you're not trying to correlate, that's fine. Even though Denny and Sharp both put up 120 combined last time.
Yeah, last night. Yep.
Can't
Crazy.
do it.
Can't do it. Can't play them together. Impossible. Cannibalize each other. With them. Mark Dubb goes there. Vooch goes there. Sharp getting pulled up to the 25 there. You said that you liked Ahmed Thompson a little more than ADP. Do you like him more than Chet, or do you want to do?
Yeah, I like Ahmed more than Chet.
And you like Ahmed here more than Chet, J-Dub, Bridges, etc.?
Yeah, I think so.
All right.
The only one I would probably consider taking over him is Bridges.
Okay. I mean, it is the cheapest Bridges price tag we've had in a long, long time.
Yeah, in a good spot.
Mm-hmm. It's just whether he's going to play full or not. But given the lack of bodies, I mean, maybe he just has to, right?
Mm-hmm. Wow, Wood going Malik Monk, so he might be thinking what you're thinking.
Yeah, that he draws back into the starting lineup tonight.
Because that's a ballsy selection.
Yeah. I got two guys in the queue there. We could do one of the Q tag guys, but that's not as fun. Yeah, thoughts on anyone I have in the queue here?
Let's do Siakam. Oh shit!
Oh,
never mind.
We went.
I didn't love the Garland Spida pair
with Mobley or with Mitchell rather.
Yeah.
Can't do it. Can't win with them. Can't correlate them, dude. Negative correlation. We're done. Who's your favorite of some of those names I pulled out there? Like Siakam, Garland, Green, PJ Washington, some of these late round guys. Who's your favorite of that group?
Probably
IQ?
PJ and IQ, I think.
Okay. Do you like Pirtle?
Not really. No. Okay. Not tonight.
This slate feels similar to last night in that I think the top 20 or top 22 are very like solidified. And then I think you can fuck around, find out with some of these names down here, because depending where you allot minutes, some guys are going to be way better than their current ADPs and vice versa.
Yep. Yeah. This is, do we dare call it a ball and over slate? Do we dare?
Yeah. Okay, fun team there, Nez. I think in the interest of time, we should keep it at just one NBA draft, and then we should rapid fire the MLB and get an MLB draft in and call it there. That was a Luka, Denny Avdia, Donovan Mitchell team, and then Kristaps, Ahmed Thompson, and Darius Garland. Can't win with two Cavs. Cannot do it. But
we're going to prove it wrong.
Yeah. All right, Nez. MLB slate 101 that we always want to start with is weather. And man, like the weather, just in terms of like, whether games were going to get played or not was a little bit of a concern. And it is a little bit of a concern when it comes in particular to this Royals and Baltimore game. I put Gunnar Henderson on the cover just because we anticipate him returning tonight. There was rumors that, he was going to return yesterday, but now he's officially with the team and sounds like he's going to return this evening. So I just put him on there but that does not look like a very good hitting environment with temperatures in like the 40s and kind of consistent rain there. So a lot of bad hitting environments tonight. Does it matter to you? Does it interest you to get way overweight one good hitting environments? Like, how are you just treating the macro of the weather?
I guess when it's all shitty, I just like ignore it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think the morning slate it was all shitty. I think the except for maybe the Cardinals game there, and then in the evening slate, I think it's shitty with the exception of we have 2 dome games, and then we have the Braves game that's like 85 degrees against the Marlins. So like the Braves are stone cold chalk, and it's like 85 degrees. So I think Royals and Baltimore is like the worst by far, and that's like pitching conditions. And then I think everything else is pretty fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's an interesting one, man. I don't really. It seems like a pretty good hitting slate.
You think so? Yeah.
I mean, definitely not a good pitching slate.
Mm-hmm.
There's no one I really like from the starting pitching side of things today.
Yeah, I mean, when Gavin Williams is SP2 on the slate, yeah, you're dealing with kind of an ugly one in general here. Just thoughts, macro landscape of the pitching there. Will you be trying to get overweight on Schwellenbach? Like, will you be prioritizing pitcher there, or if you think it's all kind of mid, will you be full punting?
No, I think I'd probably prioritize Schwellenbach.
Okay.
Yeah, just like looking at things. Yeah, I think Schwellenbach will definitely be somebody that I try to get way overweight on.
Okay, cool. I might attack the Seth Lugo stuff a little bit, just given the conditions of those games comparative to like ADP adjusted going for it. I do think there's like some interesting notes just in general. Like Gavin Williams, like a week and a half ago, everyone was projecting him to be like a fringe Cy Young candidate. So like, everybody's dark horse for Cy Young. So it's not the greatest place to pitch in the world. And it's going to be pushing like 65 degrees or whatever in LA. But I think it's fine if you want to get to the Gavin Williams stuff. I think pitching conditions are going to be really good for both Lugo and Kramer, but they're obviously dealing with 2 tougher lineups in there. I will have no Nick Martinez today. I would rather take my chances on a slightly less owned Zach Littell. And then Jose Siriano had a really nice first start out there. I think it was 17 fantasy points. We know he has good K rates, and he has the opportunity to go a little bit deeper in ball games this year than last year, kind of thing. And the bottom end of the Cleveland lineup is actually striking out like way more than last year. There's just way more strikeouts available in Cleveland than we have ever been accustomed to. So I'm happy to get there. But long-winded way of saying like prioritizing Schwellenbach a little bit and then mixing and matching after, but I'm not scared to take Seth Lugo, even though it looks like a tough spot because of the conditions.
Yeah. Good shout with Lugo. He's been solid for quite a while now, so I think he makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
Non-zero chance that there is like potential delay or even postponement in that game, which would be awful for pitching, just in general. So there is some inherent risk to that. And I do think that's why fill rates are that, coupled with daytime diamond, is why fill rates are a little slow right now, as people don't really know what to do yet. Mm-hmm. So yeah.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah, no, this is there's some spots that I like quite a bit here. I don't know that I'll get so confident as I was on the daytime diamond today. But
so what were your 4 teams? You never articulated. You just said Cardinals were one of them. What were your 4 teams?
Yeah, Cardinals, Red Sox, Yankees, and Giants, and some Pirates. But like those are like the big 4.
Sounds good. Yeah, I think a lot of people got caught up on the Giants stuff by thinking it was the other Luis Castillo that was pitching, but it's the other Luis Castillo that's pitching for the Mariners.
Holy shit.
Yeah, so they have 2 Luis Castillo starters. So yeah, it's
a nightmare.
It's not the good one going tonight, and he was actually not even in our player pool. Yeah, that Boston and Card stuff aging well. It's 6-4 right now in the 4th inning. So good start for you there. All right, Nez. I mean, we can walk through kind of like favorite stacks and favorite one-off targets and that sort of thing. But if I pull up the Unabated right here for a second, Braves are the stone cold chalk nobody's getting to Marlins. Marlins is a pure leverage play off of like Schwellenbach, Braves home opener with the best hitting conditions here. Looks like a prime Braves bounce back spot after starting the year 0-7 and scuffling so hard. Yeah, second best hitting environment will probably be Reds righties versus the lefty. Reds haven't scored a run in like 3 games or something, though, so that hasn't been aging well. But I'm going back to the well with playing Matt McLean the way in which I was playing him yesterday. And then the next 2 most common stacks will be from those 2 middle games with O's, Royals, Rays, and Rangers is kind of like what people will be gravitating to for one-offs and skinny stacks, that sort of thing. So that's the macro of it. Who are you in particular liking?
I really like the game in LA today.
Okay,
Guardians
cool.
and Angels quite a bit.
Nice. Okay, what's drawing your eyes to that one?
I just think it's not one that pops off whenever you're looking at the slate. I think people are going to gravitate to exactly how you labeled it. And anytime that a team that I like is at the bottom of Cardi stack ranks, that has my interest. Guardians are one of the lowest ranked stacks per Cardi, but like it's by like 6 points. It's really not that big of a separator. LA is a spot that tends to play pretty well for bats. Soriano's a pretty good pitcher, but man, I love Guardians lefties. So Jose, Quan, maybe Nolan Jones, Manzardo today, I really like in stacks.
Cool. Yeah, this is a classic talk out of both sides of your mouth spot where it's like we respect the strikeout rates, and Manzardo and Nolan Jones bring big time strikeout potential, as well as Soriano on the other side, but then they also bring big time power profiles that could get into a couple with that handedness advantage and some decent weather there. So yeah, I like the little left-handed skinny stack shout there for sure. Who is Cardi's favorite stack? The Braves? I didn't look. I just assumed.
They are, for whatever. No, they're not. He likes the Rangers and Orioles.
Okay, interesting. So he doesn't care about the hitting conditions of Kaufman there, and then he is on the Rangers at home there.
Yeah, I think the Orioles lineup just like kind of willing their way to the top of today, given the teams that are playing today on our main slate.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yes. Cedric Mullins ADP is like super surprising here. He's been quote unquote hot to start the year here, but I do not envision him leading off going forward. Now that Gunnar Henderson is back, I imagine they go back to Gunnar, Rutschman, Westberg, Ton, or maybe Ryan O'Hearn, Ton, Mountcastle, like something like this. And then Mullins is kind of back to that 6-7 whatever spot. So that Mullins ADP does jump out in a big way as like that is just like why outfield is so shallow, I guess.
Yeah, I'm not so sure.
Okay. Yeah. I do like the call in the chat here. He's gonna be batting 4th today, Timmy. Are you locked in? Is that true? Is that
interesting?
Yeah, manager already confirmed that Gunner's leading off when he's back. Yeah, that checks out in a big way. I haven't seen if that's actual or like Timmy's just saying that because I don't know. Mullins hasn't really hit 4th in a while.
What do you think? We're just because it's coming close to me having to sprint out of here. What do you think about little double bubble Max Meyer today?
Yeah, I mean, Braves have been scuffling, and Max Meyer was kind of like a sexy end of draft season pitcher, old prospect who's added some stuff. I think Tuma wrote a piece, and he was part of that piece for Baseball America about pitchers who have shown some stark development in the offseason there. So yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, I don't see why not. You have to find contrarian paths. There's only 5 games to choose from. So yeah.
Yeah, more likely than not, like pitcher won't matter, but
Mhm.
something fun to think about, especially if maybe he ends up being the highest scoring pitcher by whatever margin. It helps with you. It helps with the ROI. Every dollar
Yeah.
counts.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so official O's lineup there, Henderson leading off, as we alluded to there, and they're opting for Mullins, not O'Hearns, where I had put him, and then flipping that around. So Heston's in the lineup there, so there's another outfield option for the player pool, that sort of thing. I
That's
do
fun.
like the shout in the chat there, as you saying you like to get to that game in general there, that Jorge Soler, who's off to a bad start, his ADP is buried, just a guy that we know has big home run potential. Who's buried is always someone that of interest.
Yeah, especially in LA. I think this is their first game at home. I think this is
Yeah,
their home opener. So yeah, let's get a little Soler power here off of everybody's darling Gavin Williams.
love it. All right, let's rip one draft and then call it a show here, Nez.
Let's do it. I think these drafts should be picking up here in a bit now that these daytime diamonds are done and
Now that
get
you're
the
in it
lineups
too.
rolling in. Oh man, these are my robots. Oh boy.
Roboting baseball. Wow, sketch.
Well, you already know what I'm gonna do, so
Here comes that Guardian stack. We're gonna snipe it. We're gonna snipe the Guardian stack on this side of the board, buddy.
I'm game stacking, bud. I'm good either way. Got to play the run back.
I love it. Yeah, I guess we could take a little look. I got a couple daytime diamonds in there, but not a ton this morning. What did I do? Live.
Did
daily.
you do any Tigers?
Yeah, I did 2 Tigers teams. I did 19 entries there. We can look at my best one.
Nice.
Yeah, we had that little stack there, and then your cards falling on their face for me, Nez.
Oh, you needed Ivan Herrera. That's the problem.
Oh, Herrera's staying hot right now. What's now
Yeah.
Ricky got here? Oh, he doesn't have Herrera in there. But yeah, that Tiger stack, go Burr right now.
Flaherty was just 1 out shy of a QS, which is a bummer.
You hate to see it.
Yeah, I hate it.
All right, so Nez is slapping it up by taking SP1 at the front end there, and he is going to go start jamming what we imagine is a contrarian stack here.
Yeah, I think it's going to be Angels here. It could very well be Guardians. I actually don't remember.
Okay, so
hot take for you here.
Mm-hmm.
I think Ellie is a good pick.
Interesting.
Against a lefty.
Yeah, it's not going out on a limb in any regard because Ellie's a good baseball player, but I think I like Matt McClain more today, so I'm going to take Matt McClain.
Let's see what Scott does, because I thought he'd be. I don't know why I thought he might be an auto bro, but I guess he actually touches some screen in the baseball streets.
Yeah, maybe a little Ozuna Riley start there. Get that Braves chalk to start it off. Yeah, a little Ozuna Riley, and now we could do the Ellie stack there.
There you go.
So we end up getting, kind of one of those chalky starts here, and now we're gonna have to find some adventure after.
You want some alpha here? I mean, as soon as this draft ends, I gotta stand up and leave. But in the pick'em lobbies, John, how about a little Michael Harris stolen base?
Is it just like 1-to-1? It's just even?
No, it's definitely a multiplier.
What is it?
It's 3.7x.
3.7x for a stolen base today.
For Michael Harris, yeah. Pirates stole bases like crazy on Miami, and then I did it with Lindor, and Lindor did it against Miami. So now it's just automatic for me.
Okay, that's a little good alpha there. Do you think they were stealing on the Marlins, or do you think that was organizational philosophy for the Pirates? Because I did notice that as well, and did talk about it on the show with Pete there, that like noticing some of these macro trends. So do you think they are going to be showing a propensity to run more?
Pirates are getting a little YOLO. Yeah.
Okay. All right. All right. What do you like here, Nez? I got this little red stack here. Technically, you're in the draft, so I think I might go with. I think I might go a little Texas thing here.
Okay.
Do a
Yeah, they
little.
look good against Littell. I think that's Cardi's favorite or second favorite.
Okay. I like Littell. Like, I think Littell's a professional ass pitcher. Like, I think he's decent, but he is also like the Merrill Kelly archetype, right? Where it's like he can just give you like 5 innings with 5 Ks and like things just go like pretty smooth, or he could give you what Merrill Kelly did yesterday.
Yeah. Yeah, I expect him to get shelled.
All right. Then let's double down with Adolis here. Also, putting these teams together, we don't have to worry about weather at all. Both playing
beautiful.
indoors today. And I mean, the thing about the Ellie call that you said is like they're facing Alexander today, right?
Exactly.
Obviously, lefty thumber, not great, like that sort of deal. The thing is, even if he is batting right-handed, it most likely is only for 2 at bats.
Yep.
Yeah. And then you get left-handed power plays up in that park.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. And if he gets on base, probably live for a stolen base. So, yeah, a lot of outs there. A lot of outs.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Sean Well, I took him there with this stack. I think Eno had an article today about like some stats that like had jumped out to him from the 24 to 25 so far, small sample like changes. Sean Wells exit velo I think was up. He noticed.
Yeah, I saw that as well in the Athletic.
That'd be a pretty big deal because Sean Wells got a decent hit tool, and if he's starting to hit for more power, that'd be a really big deal for the Angels.
Yeah, agreed with you there. I don't know if you saw yesterday's show. I was talking. We had a pretty good conversation about Spencer Steer because it was brought to my attention that since the injury, his bat speed is down like a couple miles per hour. So this doesn't directly tether to exit velocity, but it tethers to the idea of bat speed and being trackable now. Should make this pick here. Tyler Malley or double bubble Max Meyer
Double
or
bubble, right in front of Scott, right in his face, right as he's stacking. Guess what, bud? I'm fully leveraged against you.
In theory, I should never make this pick in front of him, knowing that he won't take the pitcher that stacks against him.
True.
But it's all good. We can make that pick, and then we could probably go scrolling for like a one-off here, or we could add another Texas bat to this.
What if we scroll and add a Texas bat?
All right. I'd be listening.
Little Jonah Heim.
All right. He's got a 2 home run game under his belt this year. I'd take Berger when Berger's like more contrarian right now, but he had that
more contrarian than Jonah?
Or like when he's already contrarian, not more contrarian.
Oh, okay.
When he's already contrarian would be like kind of where I'm at. So we'll build ourselves a nice little 3-2 and take the switch hitting Jonah Heim in there, catcher. Yeah, Nez, and the thought was that for every 1 mile per hour of swing speed, it equates to 7 feet of travel time of a baseball. So Mookie, and I got this all from the broadcast, Mookie was down from 74 miles per hour to 68 miles per hour after the weight loss and all this sort of stuff. And he couldn't break 70 as a max like swing speed. And they were like really concerned. And Mookie was really concerned that he was going to be zapping his power because they know the conversion is 7 feet per mile per hour. Pretty cool.
That's cool that they know that.
Yeah. And I found that like pretty useful because if we look at swing speed, because that publicly, tracked data now, it's going to be like pretty important, like going forward. All right, guys, Ty bowling it there. Best of luck in the NBA streets tonight. Best of luck in the MLB streets. Best of luck in that daytime diamond that's still running. I might throw up a cheeky one for the weekend here at some point because I'm on my lonesome for the weekend. So make sure you have that
Oh,
little
nice.
bell tagged there to know if we're going to go live or whatever. No promises, but it'd probably be Florida members only there. So consider signing up and becoming a member there. If you like what you see on the beautiful Unabated interface there, use promo code BADGE at sign up for 20% off. This is the platform of the people. This is the Black and Yellow Dog app. This is Underdog Daily. I'm John. That is Nez, and this is everybody's favorite time of the show. The end. Peace.